You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I still get a kick out of that. You can't handle the truth. Anyway, if you can't handle the truth, you need to hit the X. Anyway, it's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program for another Thursday. It's June 25th already. Man, we're just speeding. It's just, I believe it's the beginning of summer just a few days ago. And wow, school is out. Less traffic. That makes me very happy. Anyway, everybody, it's about a minute after the hour. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me on a beautiful Thursday evening. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, maybe, YouTube, LinkedIn, and of course, WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. It's what New Orleans is talking about, WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. Anyway, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me on another Thursday on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Karmelo Anthony, we're going to talk about that, everybody, because, you know, there's a lot of fuss going on about the young brother who stabbed this white boy to death at a track meet. And it was a track meet. It wasn't even his school. It was a track meet. And everybody's all up in arms about, you know, what happened to this young brother, you know, and forgetting the fact that he killed somebody. I mean, you know, he killed somebody. And everybody is up in arms about it. It's a big controversy now. They're saying that the family, lots of money was donated to the Karmelo Anthony's family, and it's been squandered, and all of this stuff is going on. So we're going to unpack this, you know, tonight on Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. It's just a couple minutes past the hour. So welcome, thanks so much for joining me. And oh man, this lots going on. You know, this Karmelo Anthony thing is selective protesting. We're going to get into that. And some of y'all are going to get mad. Some of y'all are going to say, like some have already said, the R is a self-hater. Give me a break. Give me a break. People are saying that I'm a self-hater, that I hate my people. I love being a black man. Let me tell you, through and through, I can't imagine being anything else other than a black man. But we got to begin to take accountability, ladies and gentlemen. We have to begin to start taking accountability for the stuff, you know, that we do as well. So we're going to talk about Juneteenth, and we went from one form of slavery to another. We're going to talk about that too within the next hour or so on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, on terrestrial radio. It's WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. It's what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. The Ron Kelly Show airs there as well on Monday nights, 7 a.m. Monday nights, the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program off the internet on terrestrial radio. You can hear folks in the Ron Kelly Show is well received in New Orleans. So I appreciate you folks out there in New Orleans. We're going to talk about some New Orleans stuff too. We can't leave New Orleans out. So we're going to talk about some New Orleans stuff too on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. So we just celebrated Juneteenth. And myself personally, let me see. Somebody's commenting. Hey, sis, how you doing? All right. My sister, my blood sister, is tuning into the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Hey, sis, you should have my sister is beautiful. She should have a picture up there. Come on, sis, now. Come on. Just put your picture up there. My sister, a beautiful chocolate. So anyway, everybody, it's about 5 minutes past the hour. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. And, you know, we just celebrated Juneteenth. I mean, personally, I didn't celebrate Juneteenth. No. And I saw a clip of Juneteenth festivities in Patterson, New Jersey. Don't mean to alienate folks in New Orleans. Patterson, New Jersey, there was a Juneteenth celebration. There was nobody there. There was nobody there. And I was really surprised. Well, not really surprised, because in the African American Day Parade, there's nobody there either. You know, there's nobody there at these celebrations. But now the Juneteenth, where they're partying at now, the Juneteenth where they're spinning the wheels and playing music, those Juneteenth celebrations were well attended. The Juneteenth celebrations where there was music or well attended, because you can get it for a bunch of black folks together, play some music, play some house music, and you can get black folks will show up for the house music festivals and what have you. But for Juneteenth, the folks were the black folks were at the Juneteenth celebrations where there was music and festivities. But some of the other ones, like the parades and stuff like that, there was nobody there. So Juneteenth, for those of you who don't know, was the Juneteenth, June 19th, 1865. June 19th, 1865 was the day that the folks in Texas were told that the slaves were free. Now, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed before June 19th, 1865, but the slaves didn't know. The slaves didn't know about Juneteenth. They didn't know that they were free. You know, but when you take a look at it, though, where were the slaves going to go? Somebody explain it to me. Where were the slaves going to go? Where were the slaves going to go? You know, because they weren't allowed to learn how to read or write. You know, they didn't have any skills other than picking cotton, maybe, and the same stuff that they were doing for the slave owners is what they were skilled at. Picking cotton, you know, the ones working in the house, being servants, cooking, feeding people, cleaning. So where were the slaves going to go when they were free? I mean, we're talking 100 and something years ago. You know, you think it's bad now. It should have been a black person back then. So it wasn't like Django, you know, the movie. So black folks didn't know until 3 years later that they were free. But free to do what? So the black people went from, you know, I can honestly say that black folks went from one slavery to another. See, because back then, when we had the Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, it was a section of town where black folks did business with each other. 1921 was when the white folks came in and destroyed this section of town in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where black folks were owning businesses and they were actually doing commerce with each other. See, the money didn't leave the community like so fast like it does now. You know, the black dollar stays in the black community for all of about 18 seconds before it's gone. There was no reinvestment. There's no reinvestment now. That's why now I don't subscribe to that nonsense about black-owned businesses and supporting black-owned businesses. No. But back then, 1912, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, where black folks, whatever you needed, it was in the community. If you needed your shoes fixed, if you needed a baby blanket, if you needed, you know, had to do some work on your house, there wasn't no, you know, the Home Depot back then. So black folks provided their own, you know, black people. There was about a 10-block section of town where black folks did business with each other, did commerce with each other, didn't need the white folks. And the white folks took a look at that the racist white folks back in the day, raced the Klan and were in full force back then. Now you hardly ever see them. So the white folks back then, they were like, wait a minute, look at it. Black people are progressing. They don't need us. They don't need us. They're progressing. They're doing business with each other. And the black dollar circulated throughout that community. That black dollar stayed in that community. It didn't leave. It stayed. Not like now, where the black dollar does not stay in the community. So we had the whole section of Tulsa, Oklahoma, that was black folks, black businesses, only black businesses. And it wasn't racist or separatist. It was just what they were doing. And you had the, black folks doing business with each other. So the white folks are looking at this. White folks are racist, filthy white man back then. They said, hey, we can't have that. They don't need us. We don't want black folks to be independent, because that was the whole idea. You can't read, you can't write. I'm going to keep you under my foot. I'm going to keep my foot on your neck. So when the slave owners would not allow, they couldn't even read the Bible. So the black children were born and grew into slavery. And when they were free, they had no idea what was going on, because they couldn't read, they couldn't write. They were clueless. So white folks took a look at this Black Wall Street. They were like, wait a minute, no. We can't have that, with black folks are doing business with each other, progressing, being independent of the filthy white man, being independent. So what happened? They put a mob together, Klan, the dirty white man, put a crew together. So we're gonna go in there, we're gonna burn it down, we're gonna kill everybody and burn the place down, because we don't want black people to be independent. And I'm gonna put this all together in just a second. So white folks went in there, destroyed Black Wall Street, pillaged, killed, robbed, stole, just the devil and reincarnated, and killed those folks who were minding their own business and doing business with each other. Minding their own business. The white man, the dirty, filthy white man back then, everybody burned the whole section of town down, because white folks don't want black people to be independent. And we're playing right into their hands right now today. We are playing right into their hands. I went on TikTok the other day, and I said about 5 words, and they cut me off. Good to see the naked chicks and, people. Anyway. So they went and they destroyed Black Wall Street, because white folks did not want us to be independent. And right now today, white folks don't want us to be independent. They don't want us to be independent. They don't want us to do business with each other. And we're playing right into their hands, killing each other, backbiting, backstabbing, untrustworthy, looking at each other out the side eye. So here we go. So we progress after, Black Wall Street was destroyed. There was never another black community like Wall Street. And that was more than 100 years ago. And there hasn't been a community like Black Wall Street since. Now, we got a smattering of black businesses here and there, but no collectiveness. No collectiveness. So, because white folks, even today, white folks don't want black people to progress. White folks don't want black people to do commerce with each other. They destroyed Black Wall Street, and that was it. Game over. So fast forward to the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Welfare. See, because welfare was a way to keep black people down. You see, because white folks at the time, and even still today, don't want black people to band together, because black people would be powerful. We would be powerful if we got together. We're some of the smartest people, some of the best thinkers. We had to strategize our way around the white man all these years. And I'm not to say, I mean, I work for white people, so I'm not to say that, you know, that they're all bad. But at the time, you know, white folks, the Klan was, you know, Aryan Nation, all these people, they were in full force at that time. So fast forward to welfare. Okay. Because white folks didn't want black people to live together and form families and have strong families. No, they didn't want that. They still don't. And I'm not against white people and I think they're all bad, you know, but I do believe that, you know, there was a conspiracy, you know, keep those black folks down. So here we go. And it's about 16 minutes past the hour. You know what? I'm going to take a break. I'm going to come back with that and break this down for you, how Juneteenth turned into nothingness, because we're still, in a lot of ways, we are still slaves. Take a break and come back with more. This program is the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Right, everybody, we're back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program for Thursday. It's June 25th already, 2026. Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me and hanging around the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program all this time. Ronald McCready, my grammar school. Don't tell anybody how old you are, Ronald McCready. My grammar school brother from what school was it? Number 9, I believe it was. Grammar school number 9, back in the day. Ronald McCready, my good brother. Thanks so much for joining me today, my brother. And yeah. So all right, so let me put this back together. So we put Black Wall Street destroyed, because white folks did not want to see black folks progressing. They didn't want to see that. They didn't want to see black people progressing and you know, because that was a very prominent community, Black Wall Street. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1912. That was a very progressive, you know, because black folks were doing the damn thing back then. Black people were doing it. They would, you know, black folks were, drove expensive. I mean, they drove nice cars and they lived in nice homes. And they did business with each other. See, because it's a collective black community is the nightmare for the white establishment. A collective black community where we're living together. We're not killing each other. We're not fearful of each other like we are now. Where we didn't prey on each other back then like we do now. Because I work at night and I work sometimes in some places, Newark, some black communities. I got my eyes are peeled, let me tell you. Why should I feel like that around my own people? Somebody tell me this. Why should I feel like I got to watch my back around other black folks that look like me? See, this is what they wanted, because the Klan is still around. They just don't have to do nothing because we're taking care of business. We're killing each other. So the Klan is still around. They're still, they're watching, but they're sitting back like, they're killing each other. So why we don't have to do nothing because black folks are killing each other. So, all right. So fast forward to the 60s, 70s, welfare comes along. Right. Welfare was the worst thing that could have happened to black folks. The worst. Because the whole idea behind welfare was to separate us. The whole idea behind welfare and entitlements was to separate the black community. Was the breakdown of the family unit in the black community. Because black people were behind the 8 ball back in the day. And we had to, black folks were struggling. So white folks, the powers that be, the United States government, said, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's give them money. Let's give the black families money. Okay. Now this is the kicker. Let's give the black families money, right? But there can't be a man in the house. Now, black men, it was hard for a black man to find a job back in the day, back in the late 50s, early 60s, and 70s. It was difficult for a black man to find a decent job, a job that would keep the family afloat, so to speak. And so they said, okay, now we're going to help you, the black family. We're going to help you, but you can't have no man in the house. We're going to help the black family. We're going to feed them. We're going to put a roof over their head, Section 8. We're going to feed them, WIC, SNAP, welfare, food stamps back in the day, all this stuff. We're going to give you this stuff, but there can't be no man in the house. Do you remember the old movie from the 70s, Claudine, with James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll? So when the white woman inspector was not inspecting the house, she came to make sure there was no man there. That's what she did. She came to make sure there was no man in the house. So back in the day, they would come and the white woman, there's always a white person, would come to the house and check and make sure that there's no man there. Because that was the whole idea is like, okay, we'll help you, or we'll give you something that in the form of help, but the father of those children that we're feeding cannot be there. So the United States government became the baby daddy. The United States government became the provided for the children instead of the black man. See, now they could have gave the black, helped those black families along with the man being there, but they didn't. Because the whole idea behind welfare, WIC, SNAP, Section 8 was to destroy the black family unit. And that's exactly what happened. So so in order for the family to eat, the man had to go. Boom, that's it. Family done. So welfare and WIC, SNAP, Section 8, all this stuff, that wasn't meant to help us. It wasn't meant to help us. It was meant to destroy the black family unit. It wasn't meant to help us. And that's exactly what happened. Look at us today. 80% single mothers. Now as far as the black man living in the house today, I mean, they don't send people to investigate your house no more. But the damage is done. And that was the whole idea. It wasn't to help the black family stay together. It was to destroy the black family unit, which welfare and WIC and SNAP has done. There's not a black women now. I don't need no man. Because the government, United States government, the government of the United States of America is the man. Because even now today, fast forward up to 2026, black community, the black family structure is destroyed and may not be able to be put back together. So even though black men don't have to hide like James Earl Jones did, hide in the closet when the white woman came and he was at the house with Claudine and all her kids, so that was the thing. So it was meant to destroy the black community, not to help it. And that's where we're at today. So, so we have to, it's important that we and now the black community is so disjointed and destroyed that, there's really a whole lot we can do now. There's not a whole lot we can do. The black family, the black, community may be irreparably harmed now. Might be irreparably harmed now. So this is the thing. This is the thing. Okay, so take a quick break and come back. I didn't do my commercial. Take a quick break, come back with more Ron Kelly Talk Radio program.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show. Every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Yes, indeed. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program every Monday, 7 p.m. WBOK 1230 a.m. in New Orleans. I got to get down there. I've always wanted to go to. I always want to go to New Orleans, Mardi Gras, and throw some beads and see if the girls will pull up their blouses. Oh, God. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me in the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. It's about halfway past the hour. And so, so this is the whole idea. Entitlements destroyed the black community, and they did a hell of a job. Look at this single mother rate now versus the married rate, 80%, somewhere around there. High amount of single parent households. And a lot of it is contributable to welfare and entitlements. Yeah. Welfare and entitlements. It destroyed the black community, destroyed the black family structure. And you can tell by what happened with Black Wall Street. White folks went in there and killed everybody. Not, break up the community, not, because they do things, they're sophisticated nowadays. Yeah. But at Black Wall Street, they destroyed the community. So now we're slaves to entitlements, black folks. So when people are running around and talking about Juneteenth, you're not free. You're not free. You're still slaves. You're just not captive. You may not be physically captive slaves, but you're mentally captive, spiritually captive slaves. Just look at the black community today. Destroyed, blown up, irreparable. There was a whole idea behind entitlements. They was in the room and saying, "Hey, we can't make them slaves again. So how about we do something else?" And that's what happened. Entitlements. It's 27 minutes, 30 minutes before the hour. So yeah, so this is what the deal is now. Entitlements destroyed the black community. It wasn't meant to help. It was meant to destroy, and it has. Because nowadays, black people, a lot of us don't really want to go work nowhere. Like I could get a check every month. I could get $1,200, $1,300 worth of food stamps. I used to work at the supermarket. I was armed security guard at the supermarket, and they'd be rolling out two carts at a time. Lobster tails and all of this stuff. Damn well you don't eat no lobster tails every day. And as a matter of fact, they tried, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. tried to get legislation passed that where people who had SNAP entitlements were not allowed to buy sweet, sugary, or anything like that. Failed miserably, because that's not the point. The point is not to stop people from. The point is not to stop people from buying sweets with entitlements. The point is to get people off welfare. That's the point. It's 29 minutes before the hour. So, American Porter Transportation has been in business since 1980. 1980. American Porterfield has been in business since 1980. At American Porterfield is your source for safe, reliable transportation to and from your destination. They handle school districts, after-school programs, casino trips, family reunions, private school transportation, private medical transportation, anything you need, you can give American Porterfield a call. It's 908-753-6423, 908-753-6423, or you can email them at amaker.porterfield@verizon.net. That's amaker.porterfield@verizon.net. Amaker and Porterfield Transportation is your source for safe, reliable transportation to and from your destination. Okay, it's 28 minutes before the hour. It's Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, WBOK 1230 AM in New Orleans. And the Ron Kelly Show has been well received down there. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to start including some New Orleans stuff, some local New Orleans stuff into the mix here on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. It's 27 minutes before the hour. So yeah, that's my rant for the day. Ron Kelly Talk Radio program rant. Entitlements killed us. Entitlements destroyed the black family structure. Now it used to be the rule where black families were together. There used to be a high rate of two-parent black family homes. Now it's just miserable. It's miserable. The numbers are miserable. Black family structure today. And partially attributable to entitlements. At 26 minutes before the hour. So Karmelo Anthony, let's get into that. Karmelo Anthony, who is the young man, Karmelo Anthony, who killed the white boy, killed the young white boy. And at a track meet. Now, we're not talking about the Karmelo Anthony that used to play basketball. We're talking about Karmelo Anthony, the young black boy who killed, and he's a baby, doesn't even have a mustache. His mugshot, you just can't believe. He's a baby. Don't even have a mustache. No. Now he's in isolation in jail. He's in isolation. They're appealing now. But because he's only 19 years old, they're keeping him away from other inmates. Now, Karmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison for fatally stabbing a white at a track meet after a brief confrontation. At a high school track meet, Frisco, Texas, last year, April of last year. Now, there's footage, police body cam footage of him being apprehended after the deadly altercation. And now, according to the footage, now they're saying that it appears that Karmelo Anthony, now 19 years old, said he did it. So they're saying that. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here with this thing with this young man, Karmelo Anthony, 19 years old. Now it says like last year during the meet, the boy he stabbed, Austin Metcalf, pushed Anthony, who then pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the chest. Allegedly, the young white man's heart was pierced. And it got a lot of attention because one was Karmelo Anthony's black and Austin Metcalf was white. So right now he's in isolation. And they're saying that Karmelo Anthony appears to say he did it in the video, the body cam footage of him being arrested. So now the big deal now with Karmelo Anthony case is that he was tried without a jury of his peers, meaning that there was an all-white jury. All white. Now, we're talking about Texas, right? So you mean to tell me you couldn't find no black people in Texas to try this case? Because the point of him being guilty or innocent is it doesn't matter because he's guilty. I mean, he did it. Now, should he have gotten 35 years in prison? It's a question. At 19 years old, he'll be around 54. If he does the whole 35 years, he'll be like 54 years old when he gets out. So his life won't be completely over. But the reason why folks are up in arms about this is because there was an all-white jury, who convicted this young man. All-white jury. So that's the problem. It was an all-white jury who convicted him. And this is why everybody's all up in arms. But see, we're hot button type of people, black folks, And this is something, the bandwagon that everybody has jumped on, Karmelo Anthony. This is the bandwagon that everybody has jumped on. Because there was an all-white jury. Now, it's not about him being guilty or innocent. He's guilty. He did it. But now he had a knife. Who was dealing with a knife at high school? At a track meet, it wasn't even your school. He had a knife. And he stabbed the kid. I mean, was that really necessary? You see, so everybody is overlooking the fact that he killed somebody. Everybody's overlooking that. many folks overlook at that, and they're focused on the fact that there was an all-white jury. Now, the prosecution may be to blame for that because they allowed it. They allowed the jury to be all white. So how did the defense? I mean, how did the prosecution allow for an all-white jury? Is my question. I want to know. How did the prosecution allow there to be an all-white jury? That's what I'd like to know. But you can't see, we're misguided in a lot of ways, black folks, and we come out of the woodwork, so to speak, and then go back in. We should be flooding the streets. There should be 24-hour protests. But you see, nobody's protesting about the killings that go happen in the black community. Nobody's protesting about that. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about what happens in the black community. Afraid. I mean, just afraid to come outside. Grandma can't run down to the corner store and get a box of rice or something because there's 20 Negroes standing in front of the store. See, this is where the accountability comes in. That because we don't take accountability for the stuff we do. Karmelo Anthony, the young man that killed the white boy, killed him. He stabbed him in the heart, stabbed him in the chest. I mean, what the hell was you doing with a knife? And I know people are going to be like, oh, he's a self-hater and all of this stuff. Because people have called me that in the past when I start talking about accountability. Oh, I hate being a black person and all this nonsense. No, I don't hate being a black person, but we got to start being accountable. He killed somebody. Now, okay, there was an all-white jury, which wasn't a jury of his peers, which is what you're allowed to have. So, but he's going to serve him, maybe not the 35 years that they gave him, but he has an appeal. He's got an appeal going. Lee Merritt, the famous black lawyer, black defense attorney, is the lead attorney, I think, in the appeals process. So he's going to do time because he killed somebody. I mean, you can't overlook that. Now, the only thing on the appeal is maybe not as much time, or maybe a new trial because he was tried by an all-white jury. He was judged by an all-white jury, which is wrong. So I agree with that black folks should be up in arms about that. But we got to stop picking stuff to be mad about. See, because the powers that be in the Reverend Al Sharptons and the peace be upon him, Jesse Jacksons and Hakeem Jeffries and these highfalutin black political leaders, they don't look at this stuff. Like I said, I work at night and I work in the black community, and you better believe me, my head is on a swivel. Why? Why my head got to be on a swivel? Why I got to feel better in the Spanish community than I do in my own community? See, this is the stuff that gets overlooked. This is the stuff that people don't talk about. That what black folks do to each other, never mind what gets done to us, what we do to each other. And people don't talk about that. People don't talk about the grandma can't run down to the corner store and get a dozen of eggs because there's 20 Negroes in front of the store. And she's afraid. She's afraid to even go outside. In her own community, in the black community. And this is stuff nobody talks about. We want to wait till something happens to somebody like Karmelo Anthony. Now we want to come out and protest. Why isn't anybody protesting what happens to black folks in the black community? Killings, carjackings, muggings. And they don't give a damn what color you are. Like, okay, let me skip over my people. Let me go rob a white person. Not that I advocate for that. 15 minutes before the hour. Karmelo Anthony killed somebody. Now, should he have gotten 35 years? I don't believe that he should have gotten 35 years. Because he's 19, he was 17 at the time. He was 17 or 18 at the time. And you have to believe that somebody that young has a chance to be rehabilitated. But he killed somebody. He got to do time, no matter what anybody said. He killed somebody. But should he do 35 years? Probably, I don't think so. I think he should have got less. It should have been maybe manslaughter, 8 1/3 to 25. Manslaughter 1. But this is the thing now. You know, I believe that he should have been tried by a jury of his peers. And a bunch of 12 white people are not his peers. So on that aspect of it, yeah, I think that there should probably be retrial with a mixed jury. Because you can't tell me there's no black people in Texas. That's a bald-faced lie. There are black people in Texas. It's 14 minutes before the hour. So, yeah. But all of this, you know, we got to start protesting about what's going on in our community. Why I got to be head on a swivel carrying firearms in my own, which I do legally. Why do I have to be afraid that a bunch of black kids with masks on are going to roll up on me and take what I got? Because if I see you coming, your mama going to be crying. But yeah. So that's the stuff we got to start talking about. What black people do to other black people. That's what we got to start talking. See, nobody wants to talk about that because they feel like there ain't nothing we can do about black people who kill other black people, kill, rob, carjack, terrorize other black people. I shouldn't have to carry weapons when I'm in the black community. But nobody wants to talk about that. Hush, hush, shh, shh, shh. Nobody wants to talk about that. Black folks, black on black crime, which is a real thing. It's not some white phrase. It's real. And black people do victimize other black people. This is a real thing. So Karmelo Anthony, yeah, I agree that he should probably get a new trial because it wasn't fair to have 12 white people, coming up with a verdict for a black kid, a black kid who killed a white boy, and then you got 12 white people who are going to render a verdict. That's wrong. So, but he's going to do time. He got to do something. He's not innocent. He's going to do some time. He has to. He has to. All right. So we'll take a break and we'll come back with more of this program. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show, every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230.
Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program for another Thursday. It's June 25th already. Just celebrated Juneteenth 6 years ago. Did I celebrate? No. No, because we're not free. We're still not free. We may be able to walk around and eat what we want to eat, and there's some freedom to a degree. But you would think that the United States government is not in control of black folks. It's like I talked about welfare, entitlements. Destroyed the black community. Entitlements, welfare, WIC, SNAP, Section 8. There are people that in Section 8 been on there for years. No desire to do better. No desire to hey, just made people lazy. It made our people lazy. The entitlements, SNAP, WIC. Somebody paying you, you got to pay $50 a month for rent. Who would want to leave that and get out here and have to work and pay market rate for, like I do, market rate for apartments, $1,900, $2,000 a month. Who would want to do that when you can get the United States government to pay your rent? It just makes people lazy. And this is the whole, like I said, the whole thing. The entitlements, destroy the black community and make black folks lazy. You're like, hey, shit, I'm getting WIC. Get rid of the black man. Okay, we'll help you. Sure, we'll help you. We'll pay your rent. We'll buy your food, all of that. But you can't have no man in the house. Now, I don't know if it's like that today. They don't have people going around and checking like they used to do back in the day. Like the movie Claudie, back in the 70s, they had people who would come to your house to see if there's any man stuff there. So you had to make sure, look under the bed and the closet. Remember they came one time on the movie, I was watching the movie, and the lady came and James Earl Jones was there at the house. So he couldn't even be there. Never mind live there. You couldn't even be there. And that's how the black community was destroyed by entitlements. We'll feed you, we'll put a roof over your head, but you can't have no husband. You see what I'm saying? You can't have no husband. So, but we'll feed you. We'll hook you up. We'll give you what you need, but you can't have no man. And look at what has happened as a result of entitlements. Destroyed the black community. Because like I said, they had Wall Street. Black folks had businesses. Black folks did business with each other. You didn't even need to leave the community because everything that you needed was right there. You didn't need to leave Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in the day, 1921. You didn't need to leave. Black folks had businesses, had barbershops, meat market, shoe repair, seamstresses, home improvement stuff. You name it, there was a business for it. And black folks flourished. Black folks flourished with doing business with each other. Yeah. Here's my sis. Love you, sis. I love my sister. Yeah. destroyed the black community, destroyed welfare, WIC, SNAP. We'll take care of you. We'll feed your kids, but you can't have no man. Can't have no man. My sister says, bro, it's real talk. Black folks, yeah, it's not for no, it's not freedom. You celebrate Juneteenth. I was like, it'd be a day off. I mean, I still had to work that day. It just would have been a day off for me. Juneteenth. We ain't free. You ain't free. You're slaves. We're slaves to entitlement. We're slaves to laziness. Black folks don't do business with each other no more. Black Wall Street was a model for the United States of America, for how black folks should be. You know, instead of when you go in a black community, you know you there because it's all torn up and there's people walking around like Night of the Living Dead. So, your MLK Boulevard, that's code. So if somebody comes to your town, that's code. That's a code word. It's MLK Boulevard versus JFK Boulevard. Now, I grew up in Jersey City. Jersey City had JFK Boulevard, ran from one end of Hudson County to the other. Ninth Street, JFK Boulevard, all the way down. Nothing ghetto, nothing about it. JFK, MLK Boulevard, duck. You may have to duck behind a mailbox or something when the bullets start flying. That's code. So when somebody comes to your town, white folks come to your town, and they see MLK Boulevard, they know right away to turn around and go the other way. Anything named after a black person, anything named after a black person is going to be trouble. So this Juneteenth, you ain't free. You're not free. I don't know what the brouhaha was about. You still not free. Look what happened to Karmelo Anthony, all white jury. And how did the prosecution allow an all white jury? How did they do that? You're not free. There's no freedom in America for black folks. You know, this ain't freedom because you got to, you know, because look what happened. Entitlements was the worst thing that could have happened to black folks, giving them money, make them lazy. Because now black folks be on welfare and WIC for 20 and 30 years. And the kids follow suit. The daughter get pregnant early, you know, and the mama gives her the tutorial. The mother gives her the tutorial on how to apply for welfare and WIC and SNAP. And then they make it even worse. Then they just tell you gotta put the daddy on child support. It drives the family apart even more. Yeah, you can get welfare, you can get WIC, but you're gonna put the man on child support. Drives the family apart even more. So you ain't free. It's Juneteenth, my ass. You ain't free. You not free. We're not free. We're still under the gun in the black community. They destroyed the community. They turned us against each other. Now we're robbing and stealing. Instead of the white man coming into the community robbing and stealing, we're robbing and stealing each other. But come on now. You know. So it's about 50 seconds before the hour, everybody. So I'm gonna break out of here. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thanks to the people down there. Got a nice audience down there at WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, Monday night, 7 p.m. WBOK 12:30 a.m. It's what New Orleans is talking about. Okay, shout out to Tasha's Restaurant. I'll give you more information on that. You can get it online. Tasha's. I dropped it. Anyway, we'll get back with that. You know, I'll do something about that during the week. But anyway, everybody, it's nice to be important. I like to say, rather, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. and that we may not have it all together, everybody, but together, we can have it all. Thank you so much. I think I'm done.